Welcome back to the program. Cody Saftik here with you, and I'm now joined on the line by the Jewel. It's Julia Budd. Julia back in action on Friday, October 21st at Bellator 162. She'll be taking on Arlene Blencow in a featured featherweight attraction. Julia, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Now, you're back in camp preparing once again. You got another fight for Bellator coming up. Now, as always, you train at Gibson MMA. That's your longtime camp. But also, you've been spending some time in Vegas lately, spending some time at One Kicks Gym, which is a very great gym in Vegas, actually. Even a stop at Evolution Thai in Toronto. So I got to ask, how's this camp been going for you so far?
It's been going so good. You know, it couldn't have gone better. And I'm so excited to fight on October 21st.
Well, even if it was a bad camp, one thing that you're definitely known for is you always come in like awesome shape, like tremendous shape. You're always able to go the 15 minutes. One thing that you're definitely known for. Now, we've seen a lot of fighters lately, even if they have amazing technique, they can't go the 15 minutes. Their body will start to break down, and that really costs them in their performances. For you personally, how important is your philosophy of strength and conditioning and preparing your body to go into fights?
I think that it's so important, you know, to train to be able to do it all. You know, it's like everybody wants to finish the fight as fast as possible, but you got to also have the confidence that you can go the full 3 rounds or 5 rounds. So I think it's just, you know, it's important to make sure that you can do it all.
Now, with that constant grind of fight camps and obviously prepping your body, injuries are just part of the game. They're bound to occur. Now, you've had a couple injuries over the past that have battled you out of scheduled fights, most notably a scheduled fight with Marloes Kunin. So could you elaborate on maybe some of the issues that you were having that were delaying your comeback, and how are you feeling physically coming into your return?
So basically I herniated a disc in my lower back, building up training for that fight. And, you know, I think that it was just part of overtraining and not giving yourself enough recovery. And it, you know, I was out for 6 full weeks. So biggest learning lesson I learned was, you know, you gotta make sure that you can't just constantly bash on your body. You gotta recover as well. And what that taught me is I had to heal that injury 100% because it's been nagging for about 2 years. And I healed it 100%. And this camp, I've never felt better. You know, it feels nice to have my full body working together and being able to do, you know, everything I knew I could do. My body wasn't letting me when I was injured.
Now, prior to that injury sidelining you, you were scheduled to mention you were supposed to fight, as I mentioned, Marloes Kunin, and it was for the inaugural Bellator featherweight title. Now, your replacement ended up being Alexis Dufresne. She scores a huge upset. Do you have any thoughts on that fight? And has anybody mentioned anything to you that this fight with Arlene Blencow possibly being a title eliminator for a fight with Dufresne for that same title?
I don't think Dufresne really, you know, deserves it. If she missed weight by 7 pounds, I think, with Marloes. I mean, it was a huge upset, but at the same time, it's like when you miss weight by that much, no one's going to take it seriously. So it was like, yeah, it was an upset, but she misses weight at 135, she missed weight at 145, so it's hard to, you know, it just takes away your credibility. You know, I think that Marloes is fighting 2 weeks after me against Salida Nogueira. And basically, yeah, this fight with Arlene, you know, I got to win this for anything for that title opportunity to present itself. So that's just kind of where I'm focused on. And I don't think it's going to be with I think, Alexis has got to make 145 first before she can even be considered to fight for a title.
Well, you're absolutely right. She was missing weight in her UFC run as well, so you're 100% correct on that. Now, as you mentioned, on Bellator 162 on the card, you'll be taking on Australia's Arlene Blencow. She's a fellow Big Show veteran, someone who's fought high level of competition, someone who's proven that she's very gritty and durable so far in her 3 fights under the Bellator banner. You being very well-rounded yourself, both striking and on the ground, where do you see this fight taking place predominantly?
Well, you know, I've been working on my striking a lot, and you know, I've got such a statement I want to make. So, you know, I see it going everywhere. I've seen finishes standing up. I've seen finishes on the ground, wrestling. But you know, I really want to utilize my striking in this fight and showcase that I can do it all.
Well, tying into that striking talk, Bellator 162 does go down to Memphis, Tennessee, which is also the home of the notorious Rampage Jackson. Now, this is someone that you've worked with very closely in the past. Do you have any word if Rampage will be in attendance watching you?
I mean, it would be awesome, but I don't think he's going to be there. Yeah, I asked him before if he was going to be fighting on this card, and he said no, but it would have been awesome, and yeah, he's a good friend.
Yeah, you would think that they'd try to get him on the card anyways, but things get in the way. Now, you certainly, eventually, everybody will be attending your fights because you're under a hell of a roll here, Julia. You're coming into this fight on a 6-fight winning streak. You haven't lost a fight in just under 5 years, really. And the only 2 losses that you have on your record are to former UFC champion Ronda Rousey and current divisional champion Amanda Nunes. Do you feel like in some ways you're being overlooked? I mean, you're obviously one of the top girls in the division and one of the top girls in the world, but in some cases your name just doesn't get thrown out the mix. Do you feel like you're overlooked a little bit?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I feel like I've got to make a statement in this fight and show why I deserve to be up there. And, I got to put a finish behind my fight, and that'll show, that I am one of the best fighters at 145 and that I deserve to fight for that world title belt.
Now, my last question for you, and I'll let you get on your way, is, and I really want to get your take on this, is that obviously hot talk in the MMA world is Cris Cyborg Justino. She's one of the top-rated fighters in the world, 145 pounds, maybe 140 pounds if she can make it. But a lot of fans and pundits keep saying, well, she should just go down to 135. We want to see her go down to 135. And I personally, I don't think she can make 135 pounds. But you've got strength and conditioning coaches and nutritionists coming out, and they're saying that if she just loses some of the muscle and some of the mass, that she could in fact make the 135. Now, you're a very credible nutritionist and strength and conditioning coach. You're someone who's in fantastic shape. And at the same time, you've had 10 MMA fights, all of them at 145 pounds. So the question is, do you personally think that it's even possible for her to make the 145? And if you were offered some big mega money fight at 135, is that even something that's possible for you, or is it just it's not possible?
To me personally, I've made 140 pounds, and I've even gotten down to 139, and it seems to be kind of my cap. I don't know if she can make it. I'm not in her body. I don't know what it feels like for her to make 140. It looked like she was, being tortured making that weight cut for her UFC fight. But, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. I don't think when you're walking around as heavy as she likes to walk around at, that it's a safe cut. I don't even think it's safe for her to try to make 135 after watching what she did to herself making 140. And they should open up the 145 division in the UFC and let her fight for that. And I don't think the Ronda and her fight is ever going to happen. So it'd be nice to just see that division, start its own kind of division and start its own height.
Well, we definitely like to see it, but they kind of dropped the ball because they allowed another fantastic organization in Bellator scoop up a lot of that top talent, you being one of those fighters. And if you want to see Julie Budd back in action, you can do so October 21st at Bellator 162, where she'll be taking on Australia's Arlene Blencow. Julia, thanks for taking the time, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.